Hi everyone, I'm Jemana Sophia, as many of you know, and this is my dear friend and teacher, beloved brother, Thomas Garbarino. And we are just in the process of starting a project together called Red Dragon, White Lotus. And the working tagline at the moment is where male sexual potency opens deep feminine ecstasy. So we're just beginning this, and I wanted to just have a moment with you all, with Thomas, where we just share with you some of why we're doing this, and just kind of start to plant the seeds of what we're creating so that you know what's coming. And you can start to feel in your heart if it's something that you are drawn to. So thanks for being with me, Thomas.
Thank you, Jemana. This came out of a conversation we had last summer or last fall. Last summer, yeah. And I think Jemana and I share a lot of similar ideas and beliefs around sexuality and sacred sexuality, and the importance of why we would be doing something like this, because of everything that's being put out there that is really contradicting or giving you an illusion of what may be, something that our heart longs for, but in actuality it's what's robbing the experience of what is most nourishing for us.
Yeah, I mean, this came out of that conversation, and then many conversations that have happened since. There's a way that, it's been so rich for me to have Thomas arrive and to be able to, as a woman and so deeply committed to deep feminine practice and, incarnate womanhood, to have someone in a male body who actually understands male sexuality deeply, but where we meet in the same place of heart and the sacred and soul and just a deeper understanding. It's been something I've wanted for a long time to have and to offer and to explore. Thomas, if we wanted to tell everyone, so this is what we were exploring today actually together, is really, if we really look deeply, why are we doing this? Really, what is that deep why? And so we thought we could share a little bit of that with you, and you could possibly simultaneously inquire for yourself, why would this be relevant to you? Why are you drawn to the sacred nature of sexuality in a way that maybe you've never experienced before, or you don't feel is validated by your culture, or whatever. So I'm gonna let you start, Thomas. Why? Why are you doing this?
Yeah, I think there's many reasons why. I'm a father of 2 boys. I'm aware of what the climate's like, and I'm aware of my childhood boyness that at an early age was conditioned by a certain idea of what sex, of what love was, and how most of us are brought into that same understanding, which is really, as I said a moment ago, a complete illusion of what's possible. And now, being a man in mid part of my life, and have experienced the wonders of so many different experiences with partners and with a long-term partner, where seeing what is really possible, tasting what's really possible, that limitations that I had around what lovemaking was just completely shattered in those moments. And to see that there's so many levels to this that I don't even know fully, but what I'm aware of is that there is a template that can help open us more. So really, I see it now as a practice that I get to do with my lover, and open both both of our hearts up more and more. And why is that good? Well, I think, we all want to be really a best version of who we really are. Like I want to show up fully present to all my endeavors and responsibilities that I'm here, and fully come like from a place of excitement and joy around it. And I feel like lovemaking in this way can really be a profound medicine that some of us are really looking for, and in this diet, or looking for in this herb or this detox thing, but is actually all right here inside of us.
Yeah. That kind of leads into a little bit of my why as I'm thinking about it, is that I feel so strongly that one of the things that sexuality is for us is this birthright gift of, it's like it can't be given and it can't actually be taken away, and it's something that we share with each other, where we can actually make love. We can actually participate in creating beauty, like literally creating a substance of beauty. And yet, I work with a lot of women, like lots of women. And so I've heard a lot of stories and a lot of, unguarded conversations. And I think in general, there is often this sense, and also in men, actually, I don't work with them, but people tend to be unguarded with me. But there's often this, either, and maybe you've experienced this, either you feel like you've only just touched something, like there's so much more, but you've touched it, and or even you're yearning for something that exists, but you haven't experienced at all yet. Like there's a deep knowing in us that our sexuality has sacred purpose, and that it's not dogmatic, it's not tameable, right? And there's a doorway into something really important. And part of too what we're wanting to speak to and look at is, well, and then when you start to discover your own sacred sexual nature and the context around that and your own relationship to that, what about if that never feels met by someone else? Or what is it to be met by someone else, and or to invite a meeting into that place? My why I think has a lot to do actually with, when we were talking earlier, I was thinking, well, what is it? It has to do with my sense of a need to protect the sacred, and to be part of protecting something that I see being so chronically cheapened and misguided and manipulated and repressed and then exposed. What I've experienced through sexuality is not just, it's some difficult times sometimes, right? It's been very initiatory, a lot of my sexual experiences, but they've also been, for me, and it continues to be, in my lovership, it is a place where I touch like an ordinary kind of God, where there's like, in our deep presence with each other, all of a sudden things are sacred, but that isn't, it's not fantastical. It's just what we are, right? So that's part of what I would say is my why. Secondarily, my why is just that it is so fun to have conversations with Thomas. And so what we're about to do, the structure of what we're going to create are basically it's an 8-part series, and they'll be kind of deeply conversational in some ways around topics, and then with very simple practices and invitations at the end. And we're wanting to look into, what are some of our topics? Our topics are...
just like we've shared, like what pornography has done to corroding not just our minds, but really our connections, and how we can see that and how we can choose to look at it in a different way. Another topic was erectile dysfunction was... I
call this topic the myth of the hard, huge cock.
Right.
Huge hard cock. Which has to do with the objectification of not just women, but of men, and sensitization through the penis. and presence, and erectile dysfunction as often an indication that there's a disconnection between heart and sexuality, right? We want to look at what is it to navigate consent in a world of orphaned boundaries, for real, like truly, deeply. What is that? What is consent? That level of self-knowing that can give or not give consent. We talked about how lovemaking, how sex is so much more than inside the box. You know, how there's looking at this way in which if you're making love way before you're in the bedroom. And you are continuing to make love and open for a long time afterward, right? That these are tides that we ride and need to kind of keep warm. Oh,
like text messages from your lover.
Like text messages from your lover, like the one I got right before we did this video that says, "As you wish, my love." I'm like, oh, okay. We have a few other topics. One is riding the dragon of female orgasm, right? Oh, I'm excited about this one. What it is for a man to be deeply received. What it is for a woman to be truly taken, and for a man to be deeply received. Looking at the circuit that is created when that happens.
Yeah, and a lot of what I bring to the table here is I come from a strong background in Tao medicine and the practices of Neigong, Qigong, Chinese medicine. So we'll be infusing a lot of that principles into some of what the contents that we'll be sharing with you all in this course.
Yeah, right. So we have all of what Thomas brings, and then the kind of whole deep feminine tradition that I hold coming together, which is pretty exciting. And Thomas and I actually share a pretty strong, deep background in Sufism. We, without knowing it, were part of the same tarika. And Red Dragon, White Lotus. So back when I first met Thomas, which maybe a year, maybe almost 2 years ago, I'm not sure. But we talked about working together, and he just dropped this, well, that's when the red dragon returns to the white lotus, and it just those words fully, they resonated, they lit up for me, and they captured me. And what that, I'll let you explain it in a minute, how I understand that to be is that, the red dragon is like the current of our sexuality, our destiny, our fire, and our vitality, and our very personal, like our life force. And then the white lotus is the heart. So a lot of the, red dragon, white lotus is very much looking at this, what is it truly, in so many ways, to bring sexuality and the heart together. That's how I understand it in a lot of ways.
Yeah. It's a lot in relations to, it's a lot of what Jemana is saying in relation to the heart and the kidney axis, we call, the Jing and the Qi and Shen that's seen in Tao medicine. So what that relates to is the nature of our essence, right? And our essence being that which makes Jemana, right? That is so specific to her, that is only uniquely her, that lives deep inside our kidney energy, which is in our sexual organs. And that's a real vibrational experience that we get to experience through orgasm. And when we say orgasm, this is another thing, is we want to really expand our definition of what orgasm really is.
We do.
Especially for the men too, because the men, it's, we've been duped to think it's only one way, but orgasm is so much bigger. And so when we can nurture that kidney essence and allow it, as Jemana is saying, to rise up through the body and just saturate all the pores of our skin and our cells, and then eventually it moves its way into the heart. And the heart's all seeing and all knowing. It's the place where, our spirit lives. So when we connect those two, the magic, the love making, as you say, is really what's happening. And that is obviously best with another partner, but it can also happen within your heart alone. So we'll be talking about that too.
Mm-hmm. There are so many things that we're excited to talk about, and I'm glad you just brought up that piece about orgasm, because a lot of it is, even back to my why of doing this is I feel like there is such a profound nobility in sexuality that gets lost and cheapened, right? And that, yeah, I want to be with you in a space, men and women. This is open for men and women. It's open as a forum, right? And I want to be with you in a space that's safe, that is respectful of your journey, whatever it's been. We're not going to talk about porn as if we're talking about some moral, devil, I don't know, devil spawn creation. We're going to talk about just, no, let's look at for a minute. What's happening there, and what do we really want, and what is the cost, right? I want this where, as a woman and as a man and with you, we can all drop into a space of, safe consideration of what we were really created to be, and support each other in the bravery, right, and the courage that it takes to step out of some of what we've been taught and some of what we have thought we have been, or what we think we are. So that's the invitation. You'll be hearing a lot more about this over the next few weeks, and we anticipate it being live this summer, hopefully earlier this summer. Anything you'd like to?
No, I think I'm very excited about this. Yeah. It's something that like we're sharing is passionate for both of us, and we hope you feel as passionate about it as we do, and you feel like you want to take the commitment and join us in this journey together. And look forward to meeting you all.
Thanks for spending some time with us. Blessed be.
Bye now.